Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about the difference between a birthing center and a hospital. Yes, so the difference between a birthing center and a hospital, it's a lot. It's a lot of differences. So make sure you do your own research when it comes time to making that decision. Make sure you know all about it so you know what route you want to take. You know, whatever is best for you. But I decided to take the birthing center route because I don't want to have my child in a hospital. I don't really like hospitals. I think I've had enough family members pass. And the hospital, I just have a big, X when it comes to hospitals. So then I'm going to go the birthing center route. Yeah, so initially I had an appointment with my OBG, and when I called to make the appointment, I think I was like 6 weeks at the time, and she told me, she was like, okay, how far are you? I was like 6 weeks. She said, okay, call back when you're 8 weeks. I was like, well, dang, this is my first child. I expected a little bit more information, maybe something, but no. So I was like, okay. So hung up with her. Then I waited till I was 7 weeks, called back to make the appointment for the 8 week. And first thing she asked me was, what's your insurance? Because I changed my insurance at the time. So I asked, what's your insurance? Gave it to her. Then she made the appointment. So after that, I started to think other routes and ways that I might have wanted to go. And I've decided to go, and then I had did my research on birthing centers. So I found a birthing center in my neighborhood because you have to find a birthing center in the beginning because your midwife follows you throughout your pregnancy. So it's not like you go to an OBG and then you find a midwife and then she comes towards the end. No. So in the beginning, so I found a midwife, called on the phone, and she sounded so cheerful. She was just like, hey, you're talking to your midwife. And I was like, hey, cool. So she was like, oh yeah, can you come in today? I was like, no, I couldn't. So I made an appointment for the following week and stuff. And then, so when it came to go to my appointment for my OBG, I was in the waiting room for about an hour and a half. Hour and a half in the waiting room, only to get back there and only do an ultrasound. I didn't see the doctor or anything. We didn't talk about anything. All I did was ultrasound. So, I mean, it was cool. I got to see the baby and everything, the fetus and everything. So, that was cool. But it was not a one-on-one warm type of, moment. I just feel like another patient. And this is my first child, like I said. So, I'm not trying to feel like another patient. I'm trying to feel special. So, yeah. So, after I went to OBG, waited an hour, only had an ultrasound, I was just so turned off. And then 2 days later, I had an appointment with the midwife. So I went to the midwife, went in. I think I was waiting maybe about 15 minutes before she came out, and she was talking to me. And she was talking to me. She asked me a bunch of questions like, what do you know about natural birth, and why do you want to do it? And then she gave me a little background on herself. She was like, oh, she's been in the business for maybe 15 plus years, and her role is just to guide you through and make sure you're as comfortable as possible. She was just so perky and friendly, and I was just like, yeah, I'm all for it. So I told her what I knew at the time. I just knew for sure that I did not want to give birth on my back. I don't think that's natural at all. I'd rather be in water or in a squatting position or something. I just don't want to be on my back, and I don't want there to be like bright hospital lights or anything like that. I don't want to have to be induced because the doctor thinks that I'm taking too long to be in labor, or I don't want to be forced to take all these pain meds, because you go the whole 9 months without being on medication, and then bam, they give you all this medication before the baby's born. So your baby coming out all doped up, like, you know, your baby coming out like doped up, and then they smack your baby and your baby start crying. No. So that's just not what I wanted to do. Yeah, so the midwife, she was talking and she was telling me about her history and all that, and if I wanted to do it. Then she gave me a tour of the room, and I'll post pictures of that afterwards. And it was so beautiful. Like, the ambiance was so beautiful. It was just like, yeah, like, I'm so with it. Like, I think the pain is worth this process with this lady, instead of, you know, being in a hospital or going to the doctor's office every now and then and just feeling impersonal and stuff. So I'm just gonna run off a few facts that I wrote down about birthing center and hospitals. So with birthing centers, it's real encouragement. Like, go, you can do it. You can eat before you give birth. You know, in hospitals, I don't think you can really eat because they plan on giving you drugs. Play music, free movement. You don't have to be confined to a bed. Everybody staring at you like push, push. No. Your length of stay is shorter. So I could either do that home, and I don't have to worry about leaving the hospital right then and there. Like, no, everything's already set up here already. Like, y'all have to pack y'all stuff up and go. Like, everything would be set up here, and I'm already home. Or if I do it at the birthing center, it's literally right up the street. They help with breastfeeding. So one thing that she did tell me is she offers classes too. She has doctors, like, she has nurses and everything on standby just in case of complications. So, because that was an important question too. So what if there's complications? Like, what's the urgency of getting me to the hospital? Like, how does that work? So she has all that on standby already. And then it's less expensive if you are paying out of pocket. Like, it's like $5,000. Well, that's how much she charged. It's like around $5,000, a little less if you paying up front. Hospital, like, if you don't have insurance and then you go to the hospital, like, you're gonna be paying an arm and a leg for like what? Hospitals is limited amount of people who could attend, strict policies and rules. They're all on a schedule. They're all on their own schedule. Intimidating and personal, less privacy. You all sprawled out, everybody looking like, whoa, and stuff. They give you epidural, misoprostol, like oxytocin. They give you all type of medication that you just, I don't think, I mean, some people, pain tolerance is different, so that's something to consider. But I think you can thug it out, and women have been thugging it out for years, so I think you can thug it out. Because by the time, if you even say you don't want to do epidural and then you change your mind, by the time they even give you the epidural, like, sometimes it doesn't work to full capacity, or sometimes, like, it only works a little bit. Like, so it's kind of pointless. You should just try to thug it out and do it as much as you can. And I think that's about it with the two differences. I'm about to post pictures of my OBGYN's office because they wouldn't even let me record in the back. And then I'm going to post pictures of the birthing center, the room, and everything like that. So, thank you.